Hey guys, this is the first in a series I'm going to do on map-specific domination tactics. I play primarily domination. I like to cap my flags. I like to get in there and get mixed in pretty well as early as possible. The B flags and the flag taking, sometimes I find myself making some mistakes, and I find myself making some, well, fairly obvious mistakes. Hopefully some other people can gain from this as well. Now I'm going to go over each individual flag, and I'm going to go over B on this one first. This is Aftermath. Aftermath will be, I'm going to do all of these maps in alphabetical order. I'll do a B first, and then A and C, possibly in different videos, possibly all in the same video. I haven't quite decided on that yet. Depends on how long it goes. Now this particular flag, B in general also, tends to be very open. And it's actually a little better off than you think it is initially looking at it. Now, you have, for B flag, you have sightlines here, here, here. And on the other side, they are identical. And behind me, you have the right and the left. Left and right, sorry. Now, the key here to this particular B flag, and one of the reasons that I don't mind this B flag versus some of the other ones, is I've actually had an easier time with it, is this particular flag really only has, you're going to take it in the beginning of the match, and when you take it in the beginning of the match, you'll generally have a friend here and a friend here. Sometimes you'll have a guy up here, sometimes he's looping around to take out guys over here and clear the way for you, but you actually have a lot of cover. And the reason I say that is because if you go over here, here's an entry point to that area, and I can't see B flag, but also I can't take B flag. So nowhere along here can I take the B flag. So really the only area I can take the B flag in is, you know, this area right here. So when I look at that area, I come up with this. This is my best spot. So how do I do that so I make sure? Now I've gone up here and I've looked and I've seen, okay, now this is just above this set of rocks. Now what that showed me was, being just above this set of rocks, if I lay diagonally right here, I can take a look in there, which is, at that point, the only person. He can't see me, he can't see me, he can't see me, so you only have that one thing. Now if you lay straight, your head will often poke here, and you have just given up a free headshot. So if you go diagonal, just slightly diagonal, you will be pointed this way. Now you want to just be just slightly diagonal, and you want to point this way. Now, if you notice, no matter which side I'm on, being just slightly diagonal, I can see into this area. Now as long as I can see into this area, that is my only sight line. So now B flag really isn't that bad. This is actually a pretty fair flag. I can take this flag and I can get this flag fairly simply. Now, if in the beginning of the match, you'll generally have a person here and here who will be shooting people coming down into this area, or coming out of this area. Now that's kind of going to be somewhat key, because if you don't have anybody up here, even if you're laying there, they can just run right up on you. But if you look at your minimap and you see you got two buddies up here, you know you're probably safe from this direction, and you're probably safe from this direction. So again, you really only leave yourself with one open sight line. If you're standing here, though, I've got to deal with this guy, this guy, this guy. I've got to deal with this guy. I've got to deal with anybody who happens to come up this way. You really reduce the amount of exposure you have by taking the flag from this spot. And that's really what we're going to focus on, is how much exposure do I have, how quickly can I get the hell out of dodge, can I take this flag and move. And the B flags tend to be the ones that are difficult. So that's going to be the primary focus, and we'll talk about A and we'll talk about C, and those are different on here. And this map is actually really enjoyable for me because C and A actually have pretty different sight lines, even though they look similar. The layouts are very, very similar. Once we get to those flags, you'll see how that works. But there are definitely things you can do to minimize your risks while you're taking these flags, and that's what we're going to focus on in this series. So I will move to flag C, and then we will go on to flag A, and I will see you there.